Do you agree with the following statements? Multiplication is a repeated addition. Multiply means an increase. Multiplying by 1 does not change the value of a number. Multiplying by 0 results in a 0. Well, most of us would agree to all these statements. But is multiplication in fact a subtraction? Let us commence our discussion with two contrasting examples. 5 multiplied by 4 equals 20 and 5 multiplied by 0.5 equals 2.5. 5 multiplied by 4 can be easily visualized as repeatedly adding the number 5 4 times, which therefore increase the value of 5 to 20. However, 5 multiplied by 0.5 is equal to 2.5, and to get 2.5 from 5 we need to subtract, isn't it? Consequently, in this case, we see that the value of 5 decreased. Well, on the other hand, we could argue that it was 0.5 which was repeatedly added 5 times, and therefore its value increased to 2.5. But since we have considered 5 as the number that is getting multiplied by 0.5, we will focus on what happens to 5, and here 5 reduced to 2.5. Moreover, even these examples show us that multiplication results in a decreased product. So, should we consider multiplication as a form of subtraction as well? Alright, before we reach such a conclusion, let us explore a little more. Consider that there is a line of length 5 centimeters. As we might all know that a line is a one-dimensional figure. Now, if we wish to convert it into a two-dimensional surface, then how can we do it? Well, that's easy, right? We just need to extend the 5 centimeter line sideways by some amount of length and let that length be 0.5 centimeters. But how many times should we extend the 5 centimeter line? Well, it needs to happen repeatedly until the entire length of the 5 centimeter line is extended by 0.5 centimeters. And this repeated extension increases its dimension from a one-dimensional figure to a two-dimensional figure. Does this not sound similar to repeatedly adding a number, thereby increasing its value? Well, what we just saw was that the transformation of a one-dimensional figure to a two-dimensional figure replicated the process of multiplication. Thus, we can depict this scenario as a 5 centimeter line getting multiplied by a length of 0.5 centimeters. And the resulting product, which is equal to 2.5 square centimeters, indicates how large the 2D surface is. Moreover, this form of multiplication shows that the 5 centimeter line, though multiplied by 0.5 centimeters, did not undergo a reduction in its length. Hence, this is not a case of subtraction, and you can apply this idea to any combination of numbers. Thus, we can see that multiplication as a form of transformation is indeed a repeated action which results in an increase. However, we may be prompted to reevaluate this statement. Multiplying by 1 does not change the value, because extending the 5 centimeters line by 1 centimeter does change the line into a surface. Finally, let us assume that we do not wish to change the line into a surface. Then, should we multiply it with a 0? Or should we just leave the line alone and not multiply it at all? Well, that's for you all to think about, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. However, one thing we would like to always increase is our subscribers base. So, please support us by subscribing to our channel Apple to Mercury, and help us by sharing our content.